Stewart said each wide receiver kind of brings his own specialty to the table. Is there anything that you see from kind of each of the maybe big three guys and the younger guys that you see in and out each day?
You know, there's each, like I said, each one has their own personality, has their own individual way that they, you know, play football and do all that, and I can kind of sense what they're going to do almost before they do it as far as route running goes, and it helps me, you know, connect with them better, get the ball there on time, and get my accuracy better.
Kari said it just kind of feels different in camp. Do you sense that too?
I do. It feels awesome. It feels like we have a ton of talent on all across the board, defense and offense. There's been a ton of guys that are making plays. And I think this will be a very exciting team.
I know in Chicago you said you wanted to work on your accuracy. Anything else specifically you're working on so far?
You know, that's kind of the main thing for me. As long as I feel like I've done a good job of working on my reads and staying consistent with them and going through them as far as that aspect goes. So I think just the accuracy was the biggest knock on my season last year.
Being compared to Kirk Cousins, is that something that annoys you or something you kind of welcome?
No, I mean, I welcome it, yeah, for sure. Those are fantastic players, both of them, and to be able to live up to their name and try and do the things that they did here, I think it puts me in a great position. You know, I'm very honored to have that comparison.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm gonna go off the board here a little bit right away. So I've been asking people about their Fortnite playing abilities and, you know, the teammates and who they play with and whatnot. Your name's come up quite a bit. Talk about your Fortnite skills or how good you think you are at the game.
I'd say I'm pretty good. I put myself in the top 3 on the team for sure.
Do you have a Fortnite story or two that jumps to your head?
A Fortnite story?
Yeah, like a great moment or whatnot.
Every win I got, well, not every win, but most of the important ones I still kind of remember. I had one last night, I had a couple of good snipes, but I don't know if there's anything. My first one, I still remember how I got it. It was actually on the Xbox, which I played on the PlayStation, but I was playing with my brothers. But it was like in December, right after the bowl game. I was back home. I got my first win.
So multiple people have mentioned the fact that you play on PS4 instead of Xbox, and that annoys them to no end. What is your response to that?
My response is PlayStation has better players than Xbox, so it's easier to win on Xbox. That's been a proven fact. When I watch all the streamers, they're always playing on PlayStation. I don't see any professional Fortnite players. They either play on PC or PlayStation. So that's my response.
It's usually PC.
Yeah.
So if you had to, you know, the aliens challenged the Michigan State football team to a game of Fortnite to save the world. You have to save the world. What 3 Michigan State teammates are you playing with?
Man.
You got to pick 3.
I'm choosing Jacob Panashuk, Dante Rosano, and Tommy Leesfield. So
perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brian, the big guys up front, obviously, you know, having to keep you upright, you know, I mean, what have you seen from them in fall camp, at least so far, and kind of what are the expectations as far as your offense and how the offensive line plays into that?
Yeah, I think, you know, our offense goes as far as our O-line takes us, I think, and you know, I've seen a lot of positive things from them so far. I think they're going to be great for us this year. And as long as I can get the ball to the playmakers on the outside, and get the ball to LJ and Felton, Darryl, Cody, all those guys, I think we're going to be a very good team.
What kind of relationship do you have with Cole? Obviously, pretty important to keep the blind side protected as far as a quarterback goes. What's kind of your relationship with him?
It's good. I think him and I connect very well. I haven't lived with him, or you know, don't live really near him, so I don't hang out with a ton off the field. But you know, I definitely trust him back there, and to be able to protect my blind side, like I said.
Now, as far as being a more mobile quarterback, you know, some, I guess, worries about injuries, especially. I mean, you've kind of been developing first off the slide, and then, I mean, what are you kind of looking at as far as your mobility this year? Is it used more or less?
You know, just whenever I need it to. I'm not going to focus on. I'm not going to go into a game focusing on running more, passing more, or anything like that. It's just whatever. If I see a lane to run, I'm going to go for it. I got the slide down. I think I did a pretty decent job. At least the execution of the slide was good. Maybe not the decision making with the slide, but yeah. But I mean, obviously, I'm going to try to stay safe. I'm not going to take the big blows to the head like I did late in the Holiday Bowl. I'll try to limit those, but you know, that's definitely something I'm working on.
And then lastly, as far as Coach D always says, find the inches. You know, where can the inches be found and flipped your guys' way to improve on a 10-3 season?
Just the little things like the Ohio State game, the Northwestern game, and Notre Dame, which I think aren't terribly big fixes. It's just now that we've been in those games, we know how it feels. It'll help us this year just being in those big games. And the atmosphere, I think we get Michigan, Ohio State at home, which is going to help us a ton. So just all those aspects of that will help us be a great team.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
All right, Brian. Cody over there gave me a pretty good emphatic message to Spartan Nation leading up to the season. So I'm going to ask you the same thing. What would you say to Spartan Nation right now about the upcoming year?
What's up, Spartan Nation? You got an exciting team coming. Can't wait to get out in the field and show you all what we got. Thanks.
You and I are playing Fortnite. Where are we dropping?
I'm going either tilted or greasy.
Is that just a warm up? I know sometimes I drop tilted just to warm myself up a little bit.
I do that. Yeah. Sometimes for solo games I'll go in there just so I'm not methodical whenever I go somewhere else in the next game. I might die the first couple people.
And then what is your mentality different? You know, I was trying to reaffirm you guys from 2016 to 2017. What has the mentality been different from that last year to this year now?
As far as what?
As far as like trying your mental approach instead of trying to reaffirm you guys something real and off there.
Gotcha. I think it's obviously we don't have to reaffirm anything. We just kind of have to repeat what we did last year and just build on it. And I think that we've done a great job of it, just working with the team chemistry and becoming a family and having each other's back. I think is a big part of
Brian, Kenny Lewerke said I had to ask you that he is the supreme Fortnite player on the team and you are only his understudy. Is that true?
That's one of the more false things you ever said.
So totally false.
Totally false.
All right, on a serious note, chemistry in this team is really special. And regardless of noise or people trying to create that there is, it's so good. How special is it to be part of a team where this is probably the best chemistry you've had in your career?
It's probably true. It's going to be one that I look back on in 10 so years and I'm like, man, that was a fun time. It'll be like when my freshman year we went to the playoffs, just a team that loved each other and had each other's back and had a ton of fun doing it. It's going to be one of the main things that we're going to look back on.
After Northwestern last year, they kind of took the foot on the gas a little bit, took it off the brake on you. But now D'Antonio came out through the gauntlet down today. He says, we need more points, we need more production. I don't think there's anybody more excited to hear it. I was expecting to hear a hallelujah from you in the background for him to say, okay, let's take the brakes off Lewerke and let him go.
Yeah, that's awesome. Obviously, that we definitely need more points. We've been working on two things, I think, so far in camp. It's scoring more points in the red zone, being more efficient in the red zone. That those are our two big goals, along with obviously a lot of other things. But we know that we need to score more points. We didn't do it enough. The 2014 team had 42 a game, which is insane. Felton was saying that he looks on, he looks up. They have some of the records up in the weight room, and I'll look up and look at it too. I'm like, man, 42 is a lot. But that's where we need to be if we want to be a successful team.
Last question from me, Brian. But nobody had a better offseason than you. We talked about in the spring. All your teammates talked about it, and then it continued. What did Brian Lewerke do that defense, offense, coaches, special teams guys? Wow, Brian! It sounds like you really worked your tail off.
I did. I mean, I worked a lot on my accuracy, trying to improve that. I think that was a big aspect that was knocked on my game last year. So as long as I can fix that and get to that 65% range, that's big for me.
Awesome, thank you.
How have you developed as a leader just throughout last season and then coming into